Well, folks, this is just an update on a receiver that I was building. I've spent, I'd say, close to 2 weeks now trying to build this thing, trying to make it work, but it just don't want to work. I tried to build this circuit here into a steel enclosure, hence the tin box. Had every intention of trying to get this thing to work, get an S meter, all kinds of good stuff on this one. Have to fine tune, volume, on and off, tuning. Even wanted to have a band switch on this one, but this one just didn't want to work. But anyways, I've had enough of this. I've spent these days on end trying to get this thing to work right. The audio is just heavily distorted. I even went so far as took the audio amplifier part, this section here, out of the circuit altogether, and just kept everything else here the same, and it still wouldn't work. The audio is heavily distorted. I have no idea why. But anyways, I'm going to give up on this one. I'm going to completely scrap it out. The guts of it anyway, so I'm going to leave the speaker and the controls and stuff. I'm still going to reuse that. But the guts of this is going to disappear. So, yeah. I'm going to give up on this. Apparently this circuit here don't like to be installed in a steel cabinet, so it would seem. Now, some other good news, kind of. Actually, it is good news for me, maybe for you. But a buddy of mine gave me a bunch of tuning capacitors there over the weekend. Let's have a wee peek. If I can get that camera cable. There we go. Got a bunch of tuning capacitors. Dandy tuning capacitors for radios that can be built now. Lots of interesting tuning. These ones here appear to be exactly the same. These two here appear to be pretty close to the same. Now this individual one, this one's actually interesting. This one has 2 shafts on it, as you can see. And this has got a coarse and fine tuning control on it, which I found rather interesting. So let me see if I can do this for you. I don't get my hands in the way too much. So we've got the coarse. Of course, my hands are right in the way. So we've got so it has coarse tune. And then we've got fine tune. As fine tune. Nice little tuning capacitor. I have to say, he's going to come in handy, for sure. So I think we're going to go back and we're going to rebuild the direct conversion receiver. I think I'm going to go back to that circuit. So that's the old, or I should say, the original DC conversion receiver, 40 meters. That one actually worked pretty good, I had to admit. So I'm going to build the same one again. This one here is the same circuit that I'm trying to build into that tin can. It just don't want to work. So this one's going to stay as a working one for sure. But that one over there, lights out for that. The decent project that I've built, keeping them over here on the shelf. That's that tone generator thing that I built a few months back. Still got that 5-volt power supply, adjustable 5-volt power supply. We've got, you run DC into it, and I got switches on the back that you can switch between 5, 8, 9, 12 volt and that. I got this receiver here that I built way back when. I still haven't done anything with this, although you guys are after me to do it. The S meter circuit. That actually, the LED binary counter, S meter. It's the same circuit that's used in CB radios. They use this chip here, TL480. And got this little receiver here. And we got this one here that this was a what was this thing? A reflex receiver. Then you got the 40 meter SSB little receiver. That one actually worked pretty good, except for the drifting. Drifting is a bit of a pain. I'd like to somehow figure out how to control this drift on it. Would be nice. And a frog sound receiver. Got this little transmitter that I built. Works on 3.580 megahertz. 12 volts in. Put your key there. Antenna. That was a cool little circuit, I have to admit. And then this receive preamplifier. Jeez, that's 5 years old already. Wicked. I built it for that video, and I don't think I've used it since. That's shocking, boss. And everybody's favorite, the receptor. Still got that one. And that's another frog sound. Let's have an old, what did that come out of? USB flash card reader drive. Get rid of the guts, kept the case, and put the little transmitter inside of that. Transceiver. And we've got the 12AT7 regenerative receiver. Tuning cap in this thing is what I used in that, which I'm probably going to be end up removing and put back into this one. Of course, we got this receiver that still works fine. We've got this desk microphone. That's I can't believe the audio out of this. This is extremely, extremely loud. It's wicked. But there we have it. This receiver is going to meet its maker. We're going to build another DC direct conversion. Put it on this one and see if it'll work any better. See if we get that to work in a tin can. Because this circuit here certainly don't seem to like it. Anyway guys, more videos to come. West.